Oh, wow. Hey all, Jeremy, editor of Shooting News Weekly, shootingnewsweekly.com, out here at Copperhead Creek Shooting Club in Marble Falls, Texas, with a really long JK Armament suppressor. This is a 105 series, the 1.05 inch diameter silencer, and this is the first one I've seen from their VSX line. They just launched this a couple of months ago. So VSX is where you can go on the website and you can custom configure a silencer just for you. They actually launched with their 155 series. That's the 1.5 inch ones for 9mm pistols, for 30 cal rifles, for 5.56 rifles, that kind of stuff. I just configured one of those as well, but the first one I did was the 105 VSX. So you may be familiar with the CCX. We did a review on that a few weeks ago. That is the super tiny 9mm concealed carry can. They also do a 22 long rifle or rimfire cannon, the same thing. So what I did, I said, you know what? I only want to pay one tax stamp. I only want to do one weight, although the weight's pretty quick. And that is the point of this. You can build a silencer with 20 baffles if you want. I said, let's get one suppressor. I want to suppress 9mm. I want to suppress all my rimfire. And so that's what I've done here. I started with the tone tuner. That is basically just an expansion chamber. And that's good for more powerful cartridges. It sounds better if you run it on a 9mm pistol with the tone tuner. What you're doing is, in effect, making that blast, or the blast chamber, larger, more air volume in there. This really helps if you're going to shoot it on like a 38 special lever gun, for instance, or a 357 lever gun on the end of a longer barrel. So I added a tone tuner because I wanted that extra volume for those large cartridges. And then I have 5 9mm baffles. So these 5 right here, which all come apart, JK's suppressors are fully what they call mission configurable, which means fully modular. Each and every one of these is a separate baffle. So all of these are 9mm. This is so I can run it on a 9mm carbine or a 9mm pistol. I have 2 mounts. This is the flush one. That's great for anything with a fixed barrel. On some pistols, because of how the barrel moves backwards, you need that little spacer. So I also have that one. That's considered the pistol one for like a standard 9mm pistol. Run the one at the spacer. For a fixed barrel, you run the flush. And then I have 6 22 caliber rimfire baffles. This one, as you can see, is 17.4 stainless steel. And the reason I went with stainless steel is so I can run it on 5.7 by 28 like this PSA Rock pistol. So 5.7, pretty hot cartridge. I can run now full auto. I can abuse this thing pretty hard thanks to a stainless steel baffle. And then the rest of these 5 are rimfire 22 long rifle aluminum baffles, super nice and lightweight. At the end, there's my 9mm front cap, but I also have a 22 board front cap to keep it extra quiet when I'm shooting on a 22. And this guy is the cool looking flash hider design. So let's go like this. Take the serialized tube off. You do require that mount tube and the flush 1/2 by 28 mount. Put it on the bottom here. What I have is like a 2.2 ounce suppressor here. I mean, it is super dang lightweight and compact. And look, here's the deal. You're gonna build a suppressor like this. You have some baffles with a 22 cal bore, right? You have some baffles with a 9mm bore. Do not get these baffles confused. You can run the entire silencer on a 22 with all your 9mm baffles. That's fine. Your smallest baffle, that's what dictates your maximum caliber diameter. So don't go running the 22 on your 9mm. It is not going to be happy. FN 502. Get our little JK 105 VSX on the end. I only loaded up, I think, 5 rounds into each of these guns so I can take this thing off without it getting too toasty. Although it's 105 degrees out here, so toasty no matter what. This is random ammo that I got out of a Ziploc bag. Woo! There's Vaseline inside this thing. JK does that for their 9mm silencers, but it got all throughout it because it's 105 degrees out here today in Texas. Very not pleasant. So all that Vaseline melted. So I want to shoot this on a 9mm pistol now. What do? These are standard wrench flats all over this. You can just take a couple of box wrenches and easily adjust it. JK also sells tools, but I made it so it's not too tight, so I should be able to do this by hand, but I can't. So I'm gonna just go like, yay. There we go. I'm gonna take my 22 baffles off. I'm gonna put my 9mm baffles on. Nice, 9mm. I'm gonna swap this flush mount now. It says I'm gonna run it on a 9mm pistol with a Browning style, you know, recoil operated barrel. There we go, 9mm front cap. I'd just as soon run this dry when I'm out on the range having fun. The Vaseline helps make it really quiet despite being a super, super tiny suppressor. This is what JK calls a special purpose suppressor. That Vaseline does make it a little bit smoky. As it burns off, it really cools those gases though. So if you get in on here on the front of the barrel, you can see why that spacer is necessary, because as I pull this, the whole silencer comes rearwards with the barrel. And that spacer gives it just enough room to do that. If you had the flush mount, it would hit the front of your slide. It might not operate. Okay, a few rounds to my CZ SP01. Nice. Super quiet, actually. Which is very impressive for such a freaking tiny suppressor. Vaseline makes that, it gets you to that hearing safe point. And this is a kind of an emergency use suppressor. You know, you can do 3 baffles and carry it in a holster. You can fit it in the center console really easily. Even if it's run dry without the Vaseline, the idea is that it doesn't do hearing damage if you have to use it. And obviously, it's so dang light that it runs on a pistol without a booster, which is cool. So, let's get rid of these 9mm baffles one more time. Could switch this mount. Let's see if I can just get it off by hand. Whoop. It's a little snug after tightening it onto the gun. There we go. I'm gonna go back to that flush mount one more time. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to add that 17.4 stainless steel 22 caliber baffle. So I feel real good about running 5.7 through a short barrel in this teeny tiny little suppressor. Let's do all my 22 baffles. Now, if I were running this on a carbine or like a 22 long rifle with a 16-inch barrel, I wouldn't use all these baffles. A rifle with a 16-inch barrel does not need that much suppression. The barrel itself on a 22 long rifle really does a lot of suppression. So on a pistol, and that's why I got 5, well, 6 if you count the stainless one. On a pistol, you want them all. That silencer's doing more work. There's more gas, there's more pressure. But if I were running this on a rifle, I'd run like 3 baffles, and it's about as quiet as it's going to get. This thing will make a 22 cal rifle just whisper quiet. Here we go, little 5.7 action. Oh wow. I can't believe how soft shooting this thing is. I was actually expecting recoil, but just not there. The suppressor takes a little bit out of that too. So that's cool. I'll roll in a little footage of shooting this guy on a carbine on the Henry Homesteader. But basically what I just did was one $200 tax stamp. I've got a silencer that I can use on a ton of guns from 17 HMR on up to 5.7x28 plus 9mm plus 38 special on like a lever gun. Super, super awesome. And then when I get my 155, I'm gonna show that guy off too, because I've got that spec'd out where I can run it on like a 375 cal rifle. I can run it on 30 cal Creedmoor. I can run it on a 5.56 machine gun. Super cool with this VSX series. You can spec out whatever the heck you want. Different materials, different calibers, and JK will make it just for you. Thanks for watching, y'all. Please subscribe to the Shooting News Weekly channel here and check us out, shootingnewsweekly.com. We'll see you next time.